Hey guys, Tenfold here, back in another episode. Sorry for the delayed upload. I got busy with school, but school's basically done. Summer's here, so I'll be able to post more videos, do more live streams and whatnot. Today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different from what I normally do. I will be doing a tutorial on a bartering farm that I know some people may or may not have some trouble with. This is the 850,000 item per hour bartering farm by I think Sandy is her name. I'll leave a link down to her channel below. Really great farm design. My computer can barely run it all of it in with the whole thing up and running. Obviously, I have it in the overworld for purposes of lag, and I'll be showing you guys how to get all the items in here, how to like get the filters sorted out, what items need what, and once we're done with that, um, I guess you guys can go. I will not be leaving any downloads to the schematics, so let's get things done. So this is the Piglin loader. I did modify it a little bit. I added this glass here because most of the pigmen were actually sitting on top of this block. You know anything they didn't see cramming? Moving anything up or down more than 24 piglins is already a big no-go. So I put them on a trapdoor and on some vines to make sure that they wouldn't instantly cram. I also added this to get rid of any baby pigmen. So, because they were like super annoying. Let's get some pigmen here. For the record, you also need 4 stacks of carved pumpkins in here to make sure that all of them get in here. So once you turn it on, it'll start, and you can see it's already working. Once you know they will never despawn if you have a pumpkin on their head. As you can see here, it works. Some whenever I whenever I put that gate there, they would spawn like here, and it'd make it super annoying. But the baby pigments spawn there, so I add this to make sure they can fall down and die. So I will actually show you guys how to build that. Another thing, make sure you have no more than like 9 mine carts in here because this cart loader kinda not works. So, oh yeah, by the way, this back here is for zombie pigmen to make sure that they kind of go into there. I just have them actually let me spawn in a couple. If I do this, they just immediately run over there so they can help be attracted by the gold. And they will be attracted to this egg because they try to stomp on it and whatnot. But if they have a helmet, don't worry. Once all 256 pumpkins have been dispensed, you can just fly away, deload the area. I usually go about 200 blocks, depending on what your sim distance is. But once you get all the way out there, they will all despawn. All the guys with carved pumpkins are left. If they're like kind of like sitting up here, up at the top, don't worry, they will sink back down. And I will show you guys how to get them into their regular position. So once you have, so this is the original schematic that I have here. Uh, I have to make sure this is lower. Here's the original schematic. So what you're going to want to do is break this glass and break all the scaffolding. We don't need that. Put one piece of string in here. You're then going to want to take some spruce. You're going to take whatever fence gate you have here, some vines, replace that glass block. Once you have this in here, place a spruce gate here, and then vines in here. It doesn't really matter how many you put in here. Usually you want to cover up these 2 blocks right here. The reason why we put string here so that they don't go up there, because that would make it really bad. You're also going to want to put a bottom half slab down here. It doesn't really matter what bottom half slab you have in here. And leave that as a moss block. We'll get to that in a second. Then just take some glass and just cover up this area. In fact, I will mark it with a different color of glass, not 10 glass. I don't know why they put 10 glass there. You will need to put it here. And then to make that, it's simple. All you need is just trapdoor, dropper, 1 redstone, 3 trapdoors of your choice, 1 dropper, 1 redstone torch, 1 redstone dust, weighted pressure plate, 2 stone bricks, about 9-ish stacks of gold, or about 3 stacks. It doesn't really matter how long. It depends on how long you AFK for. And then I think that's it. What you're gonna want to do is you're gonna place 1 trapdoor here, 1, 2, 3 blocks out, destroy these 2. You're then gonna go 1, 2, destroy these 2 so that they fall so that the baby pigmen fall down here. And if you put it too close here, they will pick up the gold, and that's wasteful. I mean, you can do that if you want to. Oh yeah, you also need one soul sand. Place your soul sand here, and then you're going to want to make a T shape. Place one down here. Put your redstone here, torch up here, then place that there. You're then going to want to place a button on top, a weighted pressure plate there, and then just put however much gold. I'm going to put 9 stacks in here for this instance. And the way this works is that it dispenses 1 gold. It'll get sucked down by the soul sand, and then it'll be weighed down, and this will be powered so that it won't dispense any more than just 1. This attracts all the baby pigmen so that they don't clog up the farm and mess it up because this cart system is kind of iffy, I guess. Once you have all of them in there, let's just go ahead and spawn some in here. Let's go ahead and spawn one in here. Where's the minecart? Oops. And that one has a helmet. You also, like I said, don't worry about any of the ones that have like helmets or like don't get any pumpkins spawned on them. They're good. They usually despawn if you fly away. You can see the farm. You can see like the loader here working in action. Sometimes it'll get stuck there, but don't worry too much about it. Oh yeah, you also need to make sure you activate this. This one has nuggets. You know, you can just put gold in there, whatever. And once it does pick up the mob, oh yeah, I do need I'm everywhere today. Jeez. Make sure you only put 4 stacks in there because if you put any more than that, then you won't have the proper amount because any more it'll clog up the storage, any less and it won't work properly. Excuse me, sir. Gold is here. I don't know why. Dude, come on. Bro, please get in there. Thank you. Thank you. All right. You can see that once they get the pumpkin, they kind of like float up to the top, but they will eventually slide back down. There you go. So now that you're on, now I will actually turn down my simulation distance and my render distance just a bit. Turn on hitboxes, and then once you fly away far enough, they will all despawn. I'm just gonna go to unrenders. If I fly back, oh, he lived. Looks like I gotta fly back further. Woo! So much fun! Yay! Please despawn, bro. That you refuse to despawn. You just refuse to despawn, or you can just teleport, or you can just like teleport yourself up to like, or you can just fly up to about 255 blocks up into the air, or just fly up here, because that is about the average distance that these guys will despawn at. You really don't want to despawn, do you? Jeez. Talk about a talk about a fighter, bro. Let's go up to 300. This has surely got to despawn him, right? Yep. As you can see, all the guys are up there. You just gotta fly up high enough. Just takes a bit. So now that these guys are here, what you're gonna want to do, you're gonna want to take a piston, any stairs you want, just kind of some temporary blocks, and a lever, and just kind of whatever glass block you're building for this, and a grindstone. Once you're done like getting rid of all that, take this moss block, destroy it. They will shoot at you, but if you just kind of stay out of their line of sight, you should be good. Or you just put on gold armor. Place a grindstone here. Now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to destroy that glass block, destroy that glass block, and then you're going to want to place a stair, not there, staircase, a stair block right there, piston behind there. Then if you push it, because they're at the same Y level on the slab as they are on the gates, you don't need to move them any Y level. Now that they're there, you can't place a block here. So what you're going to want to have to do, you're going to have to place it off to the side and then push it back in. Now they are permanently stuck in there in that tiny little hole. You can see their hitbox just barely is standing on there and they can't move because of the stair. So now if we break this, they should be good. And then you have your sorting system down there. That is it for that part. And then you can just destroy the rest of them. Make sure you do have 256 and checking this for the checking that to make sure you have all your pigmen. So now that you're done with loading all the pigmen, now time to get onto the items. This is where the pigmen will say, as you can see with all the vines, you will have a piece of string down here to make sure that no vines grow down. And this dispenser right here, you will need one lava bucket. In this composter and this composter, you need a compost level of 1, or to put it in simpler terms, you put down the composter and then you do a single moss block in them. All these composters also need a single moss block in them. These two cauldrons need a lava bucket, and then every single one of these needs 4 unstackable items and the corresponding block of the sorter. So for this slice, you will need obsidian in that hopper. And for this one, crying obsidian, string, quartz, soul sand, nether brick, gravel, blackstone, etc., etc. And you have to put them into these hoppers up here. It doesn't really matter what unstackable block you put in here as long as it's unstackable. And you can see they're all in there. Now for one that kind of messed me up, go back here, you'll see these 2 droppers right here. It does not matter what item you put in here, as long as it stacks up to 64. It cannot be a bucket, that stacks up to 16, and it cannot be an unstackable. I usually just put a block in here, some dirt or some gold. It doesn't matter. Then for item filters down here, you're gonna want to go every single one of these that you have, the middle one, the left, and the right one, all corresponds to this slice. So these 3 slices all need blackstone. These slices need blackstone, blackstone, and blackstone. So every one of these right here will correspond to 3 slices. And take a look in here. You can just put whatever item you want in here, or any item that does not come from the piglins. A like sticks or a named block or a named item. You put one piece. You put one piece of that item in there, and then down here you're going to put a stack of that item, and then any unstackable item you're going to put any unstackable item like flint and steel, shovels. I would suggest shovels as they're the cheapest and easiest to get, specifically wooden shovels. Same thing over here. You will not have to worry about this chest. Does ender chests do not get sucked by hoppers. They don't get the item sucked out of by hoppers. Soul sand in every single one of these. Soul sand in these 6. You will need quartz in these 6, string in these 3, brick in these 3, crying obsidian in these 3, obsidian in these 3. And you can see every single one. If you download the schematic, you can just hit I, and it can show you like what it is in the schematic. If you saw the schematic, I do not have the schematic. And another thing, whenever we look down here, yours will not look like this. You will not have all these gray shulker boxes in them. So I'm going to show you what it looks like. This is where you put all of your shulker boxes. So if I just get a shulker box, this is the input for the shulker boxes. So whenever you do put these in here, they will all empty out and they will all go to their corresponding things. Now, one problem I did have with this system is that these droppers don't go into these dispensers. So what I do is I take 2 shulker boxes and I put them in every single dispenser. So you need to do that for this dispenser. You need to put that for this dispenser, every single dispenser down here. And there's really only one. The original creator, put one. I put two just to be safe. And then once you're all said and done, this will be the farm's on and off switch. It does eat shulker boxes like they do burn the shulker boxes, which it is too bad, but by if you're building this farm, you should already have a shulker farm, and shulker farms really are pretty fast. I would suggest ENX04 9. But I guess that's it for the farm. I mean, just make sure you d- there's the first. Make sure you put all of the items in the first slot, unstackables, and then I would also just suggest sticks for this. They're cheap, and then one item here. These will go up to 40 or 41, depending on how many blocks got in there. It should be fine as long as nothing else gets in here. And then you need your fire down here on this end. Other than that, you're good to go. If you have any questions, go into the comment section. Let me know if you need any help. I will try my best to my ability. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye.